I am no longer vegan. Legit, never thought I would ever say those words.
I've enjoyed the recipes by More Salt Please over the years, so it's disappointing to see that she is no longer vegan. Common response among vegans is that you were never really vegan, just plant-based. In her case, it's an accurate statement.
I also want to preface this video by saying I did not go vegan, or I should say, I did not go plant-based for the animals. I initially got interested in plant-based living from a health perspective.
People often use the terms vegan and plant-based interchangeably. Plant-based dieting is, well, a diet, as where veganism is an ethical stance and lifestyle. In a perfect world, we would have both ethics and a healthy diet. The main reason why More Salt Please is no longer plant-based is due to PCOS, which is a hormonal disorder. Genetics, insulin resistance, and inflammation are primary causes. She hasn't specified what she is currently eating, yet I fail to see how going back to meat or dairy products, which by default isn't vegan or plant-based, is going to be helpful. Meat and dairy are filled with hormones. Do not believe the labels that say hormone-free. In 2003, the FDA issued warning letters to 4 manufacturers of whole milk, reduced fat milk, and ice cream, informing them that their products were misbranded because the labels contained false statements like no hormones or hormone-free. The letters explained that no hormones and hormone-free are false claims because milk contains naturally occurring hormones, and milk cannot be processed in a manner that renders it free of hormone. The idea that small farmers or homesteaders don't use hormones is also false.
It wasn't easy, but we finally got our cow bred using AI. If you're having a hard time getting your family cow bred using AI, we'll tell you how hormones can help you in this video.
One of the reasons we started homesteading in the first place was to have food that had less hormones, less antibiotics, less pesticides. So why then are we using hormones when getting our cows bred? We decided when we were going to breed our cows to do artificial insemination. And probably the biggest reason why was because we feel very strongly as newer cow owners, family cow owners, it's an unsafe thing to bring a bull onto our homestead. We're new to these animals, we have small children, and even very experienced cow handlers, people who work with cows every day, have been surprised, hurt, injured, even killed by bulls. So for us, and we feel for most of you watching, bringing a bull onto your farm is probably not what's best. Artificial insemination allows you to breed a cow without a bull ever having to be on your farm.
In the field and in all practical situations, for doing a breeding soundness exam, this is almost the universal method. This probe is to this electroejaculator that we have here by the chute. These electroejaculators today are automatic. Used to, you had to manually.
Yeah, enough of that. I think you get the idea of what AI is now. Okay, back to hormones. Let's talk about RBST or RBGH, which essentially is the same thing, just with a few different letters.
Oh, you kind of snuck up on me there.
I am very, very sneaky, sir.
RBST is a synthetic hormone created to increase milk production in dairy cows. In 1993, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved Monsanto's genetically modified variation of the natural hormone for dairy cow usage. RBST, or RBGH, is still approved in the U.S., yet Canada, the European Union, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand have banned it. In addition, the UN agency that sets food and safety standards has refused to approve RGBH not just once, but twice. I think the US should take a little hint here. In many ways, this is where ethics and health overlap each other. Farmers themselves have noticed problems with the product. 25 to 40% of dairy farmers who tried RBGH soon gave it up because it wasn't profitable enough to justify the damage to their cows. The package itself warns of such bovine problems as increases in cystic ovaries and disorders of the uterus, decreases in the gestation length and birth weight of calves, and increased risk of clinical mastitis. Women with even relatively small increases of a hormone known as insulin-like growth factor, IGF-1, were up to 7 times more likely to develop premenopausal breast cancer. 90% of breast cancers being diagnosed today are being triggered by factors in our environment. As far as insulin is concerned, this graph pretty much sums it all up. Animal protein will highly spike your insulin, as where plant-based protein is just a steady, even flatline. In cross-sectional studies in adults without diabetes, a high meat intake was associated with insulin resistance. And despite a wide range of plant protein intakes, no association between plant protein and insulin resistance was observed. Many foods that cause inflammation and spikes in insulin are foods that we all really should be avoiding anyways. Foods that actually help fight these things off, we should be eating more of, and well, you guessed it, whole food, plant-based. This isn't a hate video, these are just the facts. As you can tell from this video, meat and dairy products can spike up insulin, mess with your hormones, and cause inflammation. It is most likely these foods that caused her health issues in the first place. So going back to what made her ill is not going to be helpful. Hopefully she starts to feel better and comes back to plant-based eating, along with some new knowledge and ethics. Take care, and I'll catch you later in the next video. Bye!